Arm balances and inversions got you all confused? I'm here to help.
Let's talk handstand. So here's the deal. Handstand, getting up into handstand is a question of making a powerful choice to go for it. Very few people simply can't. When we can't, it's because we're not allowing ourselves to trust. We're holding ourselves back because fear, right? Because the fear is, for me anyway, it was, when I kick up, my arms are going to buckle and I'm going to fall on my actual face. That was my fear and why I wasn't giving it enough juice. Some of the ways in are going to play to those strengths and some of them are going to play to weaknesses. So I'm going to show you three different ways to kick up to the wall, and then we're going to flip it around because some of you are going to take a little bit longer to kick up, and walking up the wall is an extremely valuable and viable way to work your handstand, right? So don't notice if you're like, I don't want to do that. Well, there's value in everything. So first things first, to set up your handstand at the beginning when you're learning, we're not going to set up right against the wall because you need room for your butt. Okay, so we've got to move the hands back a little bit. How far is going to be really a personal decision. But I set up at least one hand's distance away from the wall. So if I put one hand against the wall, the other fingers start where my one other hand ends. Okay, that might be a little close or it might be a little far. You'll figure it out for yourself. Your hands, my friends, are under your shoulders. Okay, a lot of people will either teach you to handstand or they simply won't say anything and they'll have you jump in from downward dog. There's nothing wrong with arms that wide, but you can't really depend on stack your shit here, right? So this is going to require a lot more muscular strength from you than having your hands a little bit closer together. See how my hands are directly under my shoulders. This is a personal choice. If you tell me, but Nat, I feel way more stable with my hands wider, great, do that, okay? But rule of thumb, we start with the hands under the shoulders. It's going to feel narrow. Let it feel narrow, it's okay, all right? Look at your thumbs, gaze down between them and push the ground away, round your upper back. Now you're gonna tuck your toes and walk it in, walk it in, walk it in. Okay, walk it in until your hamstrings are like, I have no more space. And that's your edge, okay? But we don't wanna kick up from here because you're gonna have a really big distance to travel. So get yourself as close as you can to having shoulders already stacked over your wrists. Then it's a question of taking the leg up nice and square, push the ground away, start to swing that leg, swing that leg, swing that leg. And on one of the swings, I'm going to push off of the other leg. And this swing is what's going to get me up. Do you see that? Swing, swing. I'm going to go swing. Yeah, so the power of the swinging leg is what pulls you up. I want you to feel how that leg swinging is what eventually gets you up. Okay, we're not going to talk about what happens when we get up for now. Right now we're talking about getting up. So for some of you, that's going to work. Leg swinging, up. For some of you, you're going to do this. You're not going to be able to give it enough juice, right? Most of the time, if that happens, you're like this, it's in your head, right? You actually have more power. But it might help to start standing, okay? Why? Because you can gather momentum with this. So if you start standing, channel your inner 6-year-old who used to love gymnastics on the playground. Yeah, take your arms up, place your hands on the ground and whee! Okay, you're gonna have less time to reset everything. That's okay. We use this for momentum, not for perfection. Okay, so starting from standing can allow you to just go for it a little bit more. Now, for some of you, that's going to be the opposite. You're going to get here, you're going, oh my God, that's a lot further away from the ground. Holy shit. And you'll put your hands down and you'll go, and we will have accomplished very little. That's okay. If that's you, right? So as I'm talking, self-identify. What bucket are you in? There's nothing wrong with where you are in your journey. That's why we teach you a million different options. If you're having trouble getting up, here's another option for you. Same. You're just going to go ahead and push your head into a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, a couch cushion works really well for this. Okay? You're going to push your head into it. Your head will be fine. You're not standing on your head. You're just using it as something to push into to help you get up. Yeah, I don't love this because you're training yourself to push into something with your head, and that's not something that you usually have in handstand. But I'm also more interested in you being successful than anything else. So that's an option. I'm going to talk through all three options again. You don't have to listen. You can just practice. But if you missed something, this is when you can listen again. Okay, so option one, hands under shoulders. Shift shoulders over wrists. Gaze down between your thumbs. Push the ground away. Start to swing your leg. It feels stupid, but I promise it's useful. When you're ready, up you go. Yeah? And don't be in a hurry to try and balance. We'll talk about balance later. Okay, for now, just get one foot to the wall and try to hold for a couple breaths and then come down. Right? My standing up friends, stand it up and swing it up. Same concept with the bolster. You'll have your head on the bolster. I'm going to teach the other entries and then we'll go back and we'll talk about how to fine tune all of these. Right? So if you're like, Nat, I've been doing this for 14 minutes and right now I hate you and I hate myself and I hate handstands, I feel you. That was me for a long time. That's where you are. Bucket in a bucket. All right. We say thank you very much to the kick up. The kick up will come when it's ready. For now, you walk up the wall. Okay. So how do we walk up the wall? You put your hands as close as you can. Okay. The closer your hands begin, the harder it is to get up. So you can start with your hands a little further out. There's no sexy way up the wall. Okay. You kind of bend one leg and you place it on the wall awkwardly. Then you push into this foot. Push into this foot. See if you can lift your other foot. If your other foot lifts, get both feet on the wall. Then the journey is a question of walking it up the wall. Now remember, close the jaw. Your body is going to want to do this. Oh, look, I'm in a handstand. Sort of, but not really. Close the jaw. Front ribs to pubic bone. Think about getting your hips over your shoulders. If your upper body has the strength, you can walk your hands back at this point. If your upper body is like, hell no, then don't. Okay, look down between your thumbs. Push the ground away. Close the jaw and just work there. If you want to take one foot up, play with it, but don't be in a hurry to balance just yet. Okay, how the fuck do we come out of here? Option one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's option one. It might look a little different. Okay, option two. I make jokes, but only because I want you to know that whatever you do is okay. All right. If option two sounds better, you take one leg to the side and let it cartwheel you down the wall. Okay, leg to the side. Secretly, that's going to be the falling technique that we're going to work on. What happens once we get up? Okay. Getting up is half the battle. Yay. But then what, right? The balance is a long game. And when we get up, it's a question of cleaning up our line, right? So when you get up, your body's probably going to do this. Well, my body does this, right? So my work is close the jaw. How can I close the jaw? And you see, I still have a bend in my spine. My shoulders are super freaking tight. I'm probably always going to have a bend in my spine. And I'm okay with that, right? But here I've cleaned it up a little bit. I went from this to this, right? But now my feet are a little too far back. So I need to move one foot. And I'm just going to try and hold here. Can I get a few solid breaths without trying to balance? Then I'm going to switch my feet. Can I get a few solid breaths without trying to balance? Everyone gets very in a hurry to kick up and then just balance their handstand, right? And if it were that simple, we all would just do that. But first, we need to build solid foundation, being able to hold 3, 4, 5 breaths solid before you take your feet off. Yeah. Notice we don't want to see this. Look, I'm balancing with both legs off the wall. Oh no, why can I only hold 1 second? But I'm trying to balance, but I can only hold 1 second. Right? We're not training that right now. We're training get up, close the jaw as best you can, and try to take 1 foot off the wall. You can also bend one knee and try to make your line a little bit straighter, right? And flirt with these toes still on the wall. So for right this minute, perfect straight line balancing handstand is not the goal. The goal is, can we get up? If we can get up, can we close the jaw? If we can close the jaw, can we take one foot off the wall and hold and breathe? We're going to start building up onto this. You can stay and work the drills that we've been working now. How do I get to the wall? How do I take 3 or 4 breaths at the wall before I come back down? Some of you are getting up consistently, and you're getting up a little bit hard, meaning the wall, thank God the wall is there, because the wall is like stopping you in your tracks, which is exactly why we have a wall. So the next piece of building our handstand is starting to control the amount of juice that we're kicking up with. Because if we're always just giving it all we've got, hitting the wall, and the wall is stopping us, what's going to happen when we do that in the middle of the room? We're going to go right the fuck over, right? So we get to start finding our braking system before we touch the wall. And we have some fun drills to practice that. I want to talk to you for a second about your fingertips. So I want you to see what my fingertips are doing. I was completely unaware of this when I first started my handstand practice. I was like, oh, you just kind of put your hands on the ground, and then the balance comes from your core strength, or it comes from some other shit, right? No, the balance comes from your fingers, okay? And if we're not aware of that, it's really hard to start using the fingers. So I want you to take a look at my fingers. I have no idea if my handstand will actually balance right now, but we're going to pretend. I want you to look at my fingers and what they're doing when I go up. Okay, look at my fingers. Do you see how they're constantly in motion? Do you see how they're not flat? This is my fingers balancing me. Okay, so they're doing this. And this is what we need you to start finding for yourself, because that is what's going to stop you from going too far. Okay, and when you start to find this relationship, your handstand practice will feel completely different. At the beginning, it's like, I don't know which way's up. But once you start to kick up, dig your fingertips and experience how your fingertips stop your legs from going any further. You really start to build control. So this is the drill that we're going to play. It's called the wall is lava, okay? You're going to go to the wall, but you're going to go a little bit further away from the wall. The wall is still there for your brain to have trust, okay? We're going to turn it away from the wall in a little bit. But for now, you're going to back off enough that your hands are not this close. You're going to go about 2 or 3 times the distance, and you're going to practice the same thing. But in order to get up, I find, and we're going to talk about this with middle of the room drills too. Up until now, we've been talking about going up with 2 legs straight. Okay, this is fine. And this leg is heavy, the second leg. So practice bending this leg to your butt as soon as you go up. Watch. I'm going to swing the leg. I'm going to swing the leg. As soon as I go up, this leg is going to go to my butt. Okay? I'm going to go up. It's going to go to my butt. So that just makes the leg less heavy. Okay? But, so you can do that, or you can keep the leg straight. But the work is, can I kick up and dig my fingertips before my foot touches? And then come right back down. The drill is not balance your handstand. The drill is use your fingers to stop your legs, okay? Watch, I go up, stop, and then come down. If I go up and I don't stop, oh, whoops, I slammed the wall. We don't want to slam the wall. We want to go up, stop, oh, and then I barely just touched the wall. When you go up, dig your fingers, your foot will slow down. Just tap the wall and come back. If you hit the wall, game over, come down, start over, okay? And then eventually you can be like, oh, that makes sense. I'm going to back it up even more, okay? I'm going to back it up even more, and I'm going to kick up, and I'm going to try and stop. Yeah? Kick up, stop. And eventually you'll stop and you'll hold, okay? If we only ever do this, touch the wall, and then try to come off the wall to balance, we're not teaching ourselves to catch it, because we always need a wall and then to come off the wall. What I want you to start doing is kicking up and stopping before the wall, because in the middle of the room, there is no wall. So you need to be able to stop, right? So the game is stop yourself. We worked a little bit on how to get to the wall. We worked on how to start to find our brakes before we touch the wall. We're going to talk about turning it around. How do we practice bailing? Because the fear, most of us do not allow ourselves to practice away from the wall because we're afraid to fall and break our necks or our backs or something. I was afraid of dislocating my shoulders, which is actually not going to happen, but the mind is a special place. Yeah. And the truth is, you cannot learn how to balance handstand in the middle of the room if you don't ever practice in the middle of the room. You can have a perfect handstand at the wall, but if your brain knows that the wall is there, take the wall away and your brain has to start all over again. So as much as we work wall drills, we must also work middle of the room drills, or else we're setting us up for a much longer journey. So part of gathering the courage to practice in the middle of the room is learning what to do in case of emergency. Yeah. So falling, flipping over. My fear was I'm going to kick up and my legs are going to go over my head and I'm going to flip and I'm going to land flat on my back, or I'm going to rip my shoulder out of the socket. You might have some other version of that fear. That's highly unlikely unless you're in a very bendy body. Some people in bendy bodies, their body loves to flip over and go into that wheel pose shape. And they'll do that and they're not going to hurt themselves because their body wants to naturally do that. For the rest of us mere mortals whose bodies don't do that, that is a fear that we really want to avoid. And for the bendy bodies in the room, I don't want you to train yourself to flip over. Because if you keep training yourself to flip over, your body is going to keep doing that and you're never going to learn to hold the handstand. So the extra strategy is to the side, not over, but to the side. Okay. And it's really the same concept as a cartwheel. And you might be like, but Nat, I've never learned how to do a cartwheel. Great. You're going to learn right now. Yeah, basically. So the way it looks in like full real time, if I kick up to my handstand and I'm like, shit, I'm going to bail. Oh, great. I fucking caught my handstand when I was trying to bail. Oh, of course. Right. But if I need to bail, I'm going to go shit, 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 shit. And I bailed to the side. Okay, so at no point am I landing on my back. At no point am I landing on my face. But how do you begin the process of training that? You start small, right? Especially if you have a lot of fear. So your hands are going to be under your shoulders. You're going to take a leg up and you're going to pretend that you're kicking to handstand, but you're going to make it very small. You're going to go, oh my God, and then you're going to land. Okay? You're going to go kick up, oh my God, and you're going to land. And you can just do that a few times. Whoop, just like hopping to the side. Okay, and then once you have that, you can say, okay, I'm going to go a little harder. I'm going to kick up a little higher, and then I'm going to land to the side. A little higher, and land to the side. And if you're scared, you can do it by the wall. You can kick up and just say, I'm not going to touch the wall. I'm going to bail to the side before I touch the wall. And the wall is there in case. You can also, the way I showed you before, walk it up the wall and then slide down the wall. It's the exact same concept. Legs to the side. Check yourself. Some of you are going to be in resistance. Nah, I don't want to practice falling. I'm good. If you don't practice falling or practice bailing, you're going to make your journey longer. You guys are going to come up with excuses. I have a coffee table. I don't have enough space. Yes, you do. The width of a door, you can practice sliding your legs down your door. Yeah? You can move your coffee table against the couch and open up just a small space. You don't need a tremendous amount of space. Start small. Okay, and then those of you who are already familiar with this, go ahead and practice going all the way up and then actively bailing to the side. All the way up and then actively to the side. Yeah? Once you've trained yourself to get out, the fear reduces considerably. Your body is going to have a favorite side to bail from. You are absolutely welcome to train yourself to bail the other way, but I find that as long as you have one extra strategy, that's really all you need. Next thing is leg shapes, okay? Everybody and their mom wants the straight 2 legs together handstand, right? This guy. Everybody wants this, and mine is not even that straight. But in truth, this is the last shape most people will balance, right? It's a lot easier to balance this shape or this shape or this shape or this shape than it is this shape. So, damn, I'm having a good handstand day. That doesn't always happen. So, what I want you to start playing with is changing the orientation of your legs. This is where at Yogi Flight School, we put away the ego, right? I'm not interested in you having a perfect handstand. I'm interested in you having success and feeling good about yourself. And if changing your leg positions is going to give you more success, then fucking do that. And once you have balance, then we can clean it up, okay? So I really love the charger shape. The charger shape is this, one leg bent and one leg straight. So you can play with that. Every time you kick up, right away, bend the other knee, okay? You can play with the wall is lava with that drill. The other shape I really like is the stag shape. For the stag shape, you'll need to get even further away from the wall because you need room for your leg. The stag shape, one leg bends, and then this leg also bends. So I bring this foot to the wall, and then I walk it down the wall, and then I see, can I actually remove this foot from the wall? Now my legs, and see, the foot is still there, the wall is still there, so I can reach for it if I need it. But the concept behind this shape is my legs are acting as counterbalances for each other. I have one leg forward, I have one leg back, and I can move this leg a little further back, this leg a little further forward to act as a little teeter-totter for the balance. That's going to be a lot easier than this, okay? Okay, so what have we done? We've practiced bailing. We worked the wall as lava. We worked on different entries. We worked on different leg shapes for those of you who are ready to start finding some balance. What's it like with charger? What's it like with stag? Yeah, so that's the menu. Handstand's a journey, right? So whatever happened today, you are on the right track. You're going to build it. You're going to build it. One day, something's going to click, and then you'll lose it. And then you'll take 3 steps forward and 1 step back. And welcome to the handstand journey. Looks a lot like life, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
Ready for more upside down fun? Check out the rest of my videos.